I've got a brand new interview with Brad Garlinghouse and BBC America. He's going to be talking about Ripple, XRP, and of course, what just happened with the Trump win in America. I also have a clip here from Brad talking about, XRP and giving a big shot and thanks out to the XRP family. I have an update here about the Ripple case. I also have a clip from BitBoy Crypto, who's talking with Trump's son about XRP. This is going to be an interesting video. Let's get into it. So Brad Garlinghouse says, I've shared some thoughts on what the Trump administration could mean for crypto and wanted to also recognize the XRP's family's patience and unwavering support. It's basically thanking you and me for the support through this really tough time over the last few years. A lot has happened since XRP was the second most valuable digital asset in the world. It's been at times a frustrating journey. 6 years since the SEC started meddling in the crypto market, picking winners and losers. 4 years since the SEC sued Ripple. And now finally we see the light at the end of the tunnel as these external, frankly unnatural and manipulative market factors fade. The tides are shifting, headwinds are turning to tailwinds, and the opportunity for those who believe in us in the future of XRP is enormous. Awesome. I love hearing things like that. I as long as somebody like Jay Clayton does not go back into the SEC, he was the original person who started all of this, right? And it was under his leadership that Ethereum got their free pass and Ripple was sued. So as long as Jay Clayton doesn't go back as SEC head and chair, I think we might be okay here. But I'm still a little worried about who's going to get that job. All right. I know you are thinking about that too. All right. So here is BBC News exclusive with Brad Garlinghouse. The quality could be a little bit juicier and better, so don't adjust your screens. It is the way that this looks. I will turn up as loud as I can for you. Here we go.
Another token seeing big gains over the past few days is XRP, which has been developed by the digital payment network Ripple. It's currently valued at around $11 billion and is trying to go mainstream by launching its own ETF.
Sorry, I was trying to make the quality better, but this person, I don't know what phone they're using. They're having 270p. All good. Thank you for the clip.
However, it's currently involved in a long-standing case with the Securities and Exchange Commission, which is blocking the launch. For more on all this, we're now joined by the CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse. So welcome, Brad. Let's start with that tweet that you have sent on a crypto checklist to Donald Trump for his first 100 days, including firing SEC Chair Gary Gensler. What are the main things that you want him to address?
Well, as you probably know, Donald Trump has been kind of a crypto advocate and the crypto president by his self-proclamation around that for a number of months during the campaign. And he has actually said that one of the first things he would do in office is to do everything he can do to remove Gary Gensler, who has really waged a war against crypto in the United States. The irony, of course, is many countries around the world, even the UK, Switzerland, Singapore, have really leaned into crypto, created clear rules, which has allowed entrepreneurs and capital to flow in and allow the industry to grow and thrive.
But while Trump is seen as favorable for crypto leaders and investors, does his recent alignment with crypto actually pose some ethical concerns? I mean, he's launched the cryptocurrency project World Liberty Financial. Is this a potential conflict of interest now that he has a stake in the industry, Brad?
I think obviously Donald Trump has stakes in lots of industries, and I think the voters decided that they preferred Donald Trump as opposed to other candidates throughout the process. So I don't really take a position on that. I think there's obviously a lot of disclosure laws, and I think as his second trip to the White House, I'm sure there's plenty of people around him that are experienced with that. I do think, regardless of his own participation in different parts of the economy, we've got to get the United States growing as it relates to this industry.
Yep.
And the Biden administration, really not just the United States SEC, but other parts of the government as well, have been pretty hostile towards crypto, despite its growth, despite that it's over a $2 trillion market today.
Yeah.
With a Donald Trump win, are you expecting a resolution in this Ripple versus SEC lawsuit? I mean, this was surrounding whether XRP is considered a security or a digital currency. And what do you think a resolution would mean for the broader crypto industry?
Look, as you probably know, we've been fighting with the SEC for 3.5 years. We won that case last summer.
Yeah.
The SEC, the judge in that case declared very explicitly, XRP in and of itself is not a security. The SEC is appealing part of that decision, but importantly, they're not appealing the part of the decision that says XRP is not a security.
Exactly.
So we feel very good about that. The law of the land of the United States is that XRP is not a security.
Tell him, Brad.
What's frustrating, I think, for the whole industry is that only Bitcoin and XRP really have the explicit regulatory clarity in the United States.
Tell him, Brad.
Other leading cryptocurrencies like ETH and Solana have been a little bit in a fuzzy land. And it's really kind of maddening, and I think madness, to think we're going to litigate every single token one by one. We've been challenging the government, challenging the SEC to create clear rules of the road, as you've seen in the UK, as you've seen in Japan, where they've created taxonomies so that the regulation is clear. And people in the US crypto industry want to follow the rules. We just have to have clarity about what the rules are.
Yep. Well said, Brad.
And Brad, talk to us more about clarity that you need in regulation. What more in particular would you like to see?
Well, I think the key thing is the SEC under Gary Gensler has tried to take the position that most cryptocurrencies are securities. Securities, as I think many people know, the law, it's about, rights and title and ownership of a company. If you own a security in Apple, you own part of the company. You have governance rights. You can vote on the board of directors. That obviously doesn't exist. If you own XRP, if you own ETH, if you own different cryptocurrencies, you're not getting the rights and title and interest of a security. So the key really is creating that clarity that the SEC is not the regulator that's trying to kind of own this industry. And they've really been trying to do regulation through enforcement rather than codifying and taking the time to write clear rules of the road.
I don't know, but it's just BBC.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us there, Brad Garlinghouse, the Ripple CEO.
All right. Fair enough. Let's keep it going. So here is that clip I was telling you about where you have BitBoy, who's also known as Ben Armstrong. That's his real name. And we have Donald Trump Jr., Trump's son. I can't remember it's not Eric. I can't remember.
Also got coins like XRP that are working to change the banking system. XRP is a coin that, what they're trying to do is make it to where they can do international cross-border payments much faster. So Bitcoin and XRP are both what we know as networks of value. So SWIFT system that runs the banking system right now, the international transfers, cross-border payments, it's a network of information. So when something is happening on the SWIFT system, somebody's got to come in on the back end and do all the work.
Yeah.
Well,
so if you're dealing with time differences and everything
100%.
else, like you would in an international transaction, that creates the headache.
Well, it creates
or the time lag, really.
Well, it's 5 to 7 days is how long it takes for these things to actually settle. With XRP, it settles in 30 seconds because it's a network of value. You also got coins like XRP that are working to...
All right. Hey, I'll take it. I might have explained it a little bit differently, but I'll take it. All you can do really when it comes to the Trump family or people like this is plant seeds and hope they grow. It would be incredible if somehow Trump's son went to Trump and said, hey, we got a miracle cure for everything. It's XRP. Then we would all be really rich, right? So I'm rooting for that. I'm really rooting for that. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm rooting for it. All right. So here's from Ripple Lords. So he says, newsflash, district court advised Ripple to consider an alternate solution to the lawsuit and filed a proposed order and a voluntary dismissal. So let's take a look at this. This is November 4th. Okay, just give you some context here. We're a few days after. So as the court is in receipt of the parties' joint motion for entry of final judgment and stay. He says, before making a decision on parties' motion, the court would like the parties to consider an alternative resolution of filing a voluntary dismissal without prejudice and for the remaining individual claim, subject to being refiled after resolution of the appeal on the class claims. The law of the case would control in any refiled proceedings, and the parties may agree to waive any statute of limitations issues if they anticipate. So it sounds like, I'm not an attorney, but when I hear this, it sounds like the appeals court maybe are asking them to, hey, can you guys just go out and work this out, some type of resolution, whether it's monetary value, so we can just move on with our lives? Do we need to really keep dragging this through? So we'll have to see how that plays out. And there's also this clip. This is a golden oldie. If you're new to the XRP scene or to this channel, you might not have seen this clip. This was from several years ago. I just to paint the picture of who's in this room. It's basically the who's who of central bankers from all around the world. Christine Lagarde is in this room when she used to be the head of the IMF. And there's all kinds of just really well known. And this was when Ripple was invited into this like big central bank meeting. And Brad Garlinghouse is there, and you can see that this was years ago. He looks a little younger. This was before, you know, the lawsuits and all that stuff really kind of made him just more tired, I think, and just took a lot out of him. But here you go. XRP operates with no political bias, meaning it can be used anyone, anywhere beyond central bank control. The issue is, while the world's eyes are fixed on Bitcoin, central banks have quietly partnered with Ripple to build infrastructure that will enable them to use XRP. Absolutely true.
But now we have someone from the private sector, Brad Garlinghouse, who is the CEO of the financial technology company Ripple.
I will start off by also thanking Charles, thanking Thomas, thanking Christine. It's an honor to be included. And as was introduced, I think they saved me for last so that I could talk about the private sector version of this. For last.
Christine Lagarde's right here. You could tell it's her with the hair and the scarf. That's definitely her. This is Augustin Carlson's. You know him. He's the head of the BIS. This is Adrian Tobias. I mean, there's all kinds of incredibly these people are basically the decision makers globally for banks and central banks. Really big.
I could talk about the private sector version of this. I also start by kind of explaining the basics of what Ripple is and what Ripple is not. Ripple is a private company. We're based in California, of about 300 or 400 employees around the world. And we're trying to solve a problem. We're selling technologies to banks and financial institutions to solve a cross-border payments problem.
And we're here to help central banks do things better, right? That we're here to help you move money faster, more cheaply, more efficient, right? And we're here to hopefully make XRP a world reserve currency. That's what we're all looking for, right? Ripple is here to make a dent in the universe, right? Anything short of that, I would think they would consider that a failure, right? They're here to really change how value, tokenized value, moves around the planet. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'm Crypto Sensei. If you like the video, please hit a like. We're trying to reach 1,500 likes on this video. And if you made it to the end, which means you probably liked the video, please help me out by hitting that one button. I really appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Aloha.